welcome back to TBH. My name is Bianca.
I'm Hillary, and we're super excited to be back, not only in our second semester, but also back on YouTube.
Unfortunately, we are missing Tatiana today, but we are extremely happy to have you with us again. And we kind of wanted to get into the first year of college, first semester and a half, I guess, of college. Um, Hillary, how has it been for you? I mean, I want to hear it from a different perspective. Since you're at FSU and I am at UF, I want to see how you've been doing.
Well, I love FSU regardless of everything that I've been through here. It's definitely been a little chaotic as usual with new beginnings overall. And wow, just like trying to fit everything together in a schedule and doing everything by yourself. As we have said before, it's been very hectic, but it's definitely a learning experience. And coming back after the break has allowed me to realize that it all really just takes practice and having the right people around you that are supporting you. So I feel like that would be a nutshell how everything has been going. I don't really think there's anything too different in the overall aspect, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The first semester, so it was tougher than I expected. Coming from high school, I started here over the summer, like we talked about in previous episodes, and it was a great head start because nobody was on campus and like there was very, very few people on campus. So I got to know my way around and like how classes worked and stuff like that. I had one class online and one class over Zoom, or one class in person and one class over Zoom that we met sometimes, but like it was mostly just like no meetings. And then fall came around and here I come with 4 courses and it was a lot. It was definitely challenging getting used to different professors' way of teaching and like just managing my time and work. I definitely realized that most courses in college are exam based. So like my whole entire grade depends on one exam. So that happened to me, for example, in one of my classes. I got a very low score in one of my exams, and then it was so hard to bring it back up, which made everything extremely stressful. Um, I definitely use mindfulness a lot over fall, at least. So we're focusing first on our first semester of college without really counting summer, like full semester of college. Sometimes I would call my mom and she would tell me, Bianca, please just meditate for a little bit. Even if it's just listening to music, you don't have to sit here and like do weird poses and whatever, but at least just sit there, listen to music, listen to to you breathing and find yourself because you need to take a break.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that was a thing. I guess going into more specifics, I also struggled a little with my classes. I will say that the college courses that I had in high school kind of helped me to prepare for the blow that the actual classes were going to be, but nothing compares to it regardless. Everything goes so fast because you don't have a whole year, you have a semester period. So going into the science classes, which were hard for me specifically, that was terrible. Like you said, they don't really prepare you for the classes being basically only based on, hey, your grade is going to be based off of like the 70% of your grade is going to be based off on like 4 or 3 exams. And it's like, whoa, I wish someone would have told me that, but that's one thing. And I guess I've been lucky so far that I was able to understand something like, all right, my brain is fried right now. I just can't focus anymore. So I would leave the room, go somewhere else, like a different environment, and be like, okay, I have to come back into my senses and then get back into it. Gladly, this semester for me has been academically a little bit easier because no more science classes. It's exciting. But yes, that's how it's been so far. I wasn't here for the summer, so I had like the harsh blow, like really, it was all like real world for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think the hardest part of summer, I mean, of fall, and when I use the most mindfulness and try to find as many tools and techniques as I could, was finals week. Like the first finals week, I know everybody talks about it, but like for example, here at UF, we have one of the main libraries. They made it 24 hours. Like you can be there if you want until 7 in the morning, like starting at night. Like that's how much students study. And I definitely from like the beginning of the semester and learning how to take time for myself, I definitely knew how to like control myself when studying. So like I wouldn't sit here in front of a computer for so many hours. I would sometimes just take a break, even if it was just to sit there, stare at absolutely nothing and just breathe. It was definitely extremely hard. Most of my classes had exams. I think 3 out of my 4 classes had exams. So it's definitely challenging learning how to prepare for each exam because they're all kind of in the same week or like within 2 weeks. So it was definitely very hard. But it helped me a lot talking to like somebody that listens to me instead of taking it all in. Like I usually would call my mom and just talk things out, or like I would ask her, hey, can you please just like, get my mind off of this? Like, let's talk about something else, and I believe that's mindfulness too. It's just realizing that you need time, whether it is by meditating, whether it is by listening to a podcast, whether it is by just staring into nothing and breathing, just finding yourself and realizing that you need a break to not like stress yourself out. That was definitely one of the most important parts of finals week. Um, I also try to stay very organized. I kind of make a schedule like, oh, I'm going to study for 30 minutes today for this class and 30 minutes for this class and stuff like that. So I didn't get till finals day and like I hadn't studied anything. And also it's a lot of content. So I wanted to split it evenly as much as I could.
I can definitely see how that's the thing for a lot of students, at least once in their life. Even if you're in high school, like finals, midterms is terrible. Personally, probably time, I wouldn't say it was final week because I was lucky enough to have optional finals. I took them though because I was like, it's not going to hurt me. I mean, if I do well, it's going to help. If I don't, then whatever, it'll drop. But my most difficult time was definitely my last month overall of the fall semester because I'm in this program where you're required to do a specific number of service hours. And we were figuring everything out because we were like a completely new group of people who don't know Tallahassee, don't know where to get community service involvement from. So we all had to like work together and come together as a group and try to fit 45 hours of service into 1 month or like 3 weeks. It was a lot of work. Like, yeah, it was definitely something. And again, it was all, like you said, about trying to figure out a way to organize it, having people surround you when you're doing those things, because sometimes you may think you can do it by yourself and you may be able to do it by yourself, but it feels much better when you're able to let it out with someone, even if they're not in the same situation as you are. It can just be easier to communicate it and it's going to make you feel better regardless of how hard the situations are.
I really like that you mentioned stuff about clubs and organizations because I am the type of person that gets involved in almost everything that comes my way. Me, most of my close friends and family, they do. So coming into college, I'm like, all right, there's 60,000 plus students. There are so many clubs and organizations. Where do I go? What do I do? Like, I can't do everything. So of course, for fall, I signed up for absolutely everything I saw. And then I started realizing that it is necessary for me to pick and choose. So, I saw like there was some clubs that I thought maybe I could wait. Like they weren't gonna benefit me the most right now. It was like one of the clubs, it was like the animal club. So like you go and do like goat yoga and like stuff like that. And it was a lot of stuff about going. And I realized I'm like, okay, this might help my mental health, like if I go and like spend this time. But at the same time, it was stressing me out so much, the fact that I had to find a ride there. So I'm like, okay, this is a no-go. So there was a lot of cases like that. And then there was a club that I got involved in that was kind of based on just community service. So throughout the year, it was a 2 semester commitment. And throughout the year, you had to focus on a service project that you wanted to do. So like a different topic. There was topics like homelessness, not mindful me, mental health, and just a whole bunch of things like animals. I don't know, just like a whole bunch of random things. And you had to choose a topic that you were most passionate about and do some type of service project, but it had to be outside of UF. It had to be in Gainesville area, which was extremely hard because my car is parked very far away. It was meetings every single Wednesday. And like I tried to make it as much as I could, but it got to a point where I realized that my grades were dropping. I was worrying more about getting to the meetings and getting to the clubs than my own grades, and I'm like, I am not going to get a degree by going to club meetings. I'm going to get a degree by passing my classes. And I don't want to fall behind, especially knowing that I came to college with so many credits. I'm like, I want to take advantage of that. So I think that one of the biggest steps I made and like towards my mental health was understanding that it is okay to not be involved in 20 clubs as long as I'm doing well in my classes and I'm in two at least, just like whatever, something that I can handle, but not that will stress myself out because clubs are optional for a reason. So I think that's very important, especially coming into a new routine, meeting new people, just getting, the whole transition and getting adapted to something different. I think that was very, very important.
I definitely went through that too. The reason why I'm so committed to the service program that I told you about is because I came to FSU with the idea that I was going to do that. That's why I have been so like, I guess, strict on like keep being on track with that. But that's one of like my pillar extracurriculars, right? It's not, you're never required to be a part of 20 million clubs but you have so many opportunities out there. And we were very similar in high school in that way. Like we tried to do everything and then not just do every single club, but like be very involved in every single one. So it was really hard to try to do that, not only in high school, but nowadays that there's like even more opportunities. But I had a very similar situation where I really like history and I'm not taking any history classes currently. So I tried joining the history club and it was fun, but it was very time consuming. And I was like, okay, I don't know if this is the best time for me to be a part of the club. Like, yeah, I'll go here and there, like maybe once a month, but not every week because it becomes a whole thing where it's like am I actually benefiting from coming here often, or is it hurting me more than helping me? It was starting to stress me out. So it's kind of like one of those things that you really want to watch out for. I did want to talk about something else real quick. How was the transition from the fall semester to your spring semester? How did the break go? Anything along the lines of that?
Okay, awesome. So, break was definitely extremely helpful because coming from a really hard semester, I kind of just wanted to relax, do absolutely nothing, and just spend time with my family. I did have a little bumps on the road at home, which made it a little stressful. But again, this is where mindfulness comes in. I took time for myself. If I needed space by myself on my own, I could just go for a walk and things like that. It is definitely, I wouldn't say hard to go home because I love going home. I go home every time I can, but I go from being in a space where I manage my own time and responsibilities and I am my own boss to going home and it's just like I can't decide when to eat dinner. I don't decide when things are done. Laundry, here I do laundry every Sunday. I have that like schedule. But at home, my mom does laundry more times during the week because there's more people and things like that. Dinner is whenever everybody's ready because we have dinner all together. So it's just like being mindful that I am around others again and that I'm around my family and that I'm not by myself anymore. And that, it's kind of like adapting again after having adapted to my own. It's like, I think it's very important to just keep an open mind and being mindful that you're not alone. There's other people around you and it's okay to, here I'm used to eating at 7 p.m. because the dining hall kind of stopped serving food at 8. But when I go home, we're Hispanic, we eat dinner closer to 9 or 10. So it's just like, okay, I'm not used to this anymore, but just kind of adaptability has been very, very important over the break. But it was definitely relaxing to have nothing to do. It got to a point where I was like, okay, I feel like I'm missing something because like I have nothing to do. This never happens. What about you?
Really feel the same way. It was really hard going from doing everything on your own to going back to how it kind of used to be. And the fact that we were literally on a break, it just felt as though, okay, what am I doing now? The break was definitely needed. I was very under a lot of stress because of a lot of unforeseen circumstances. I don't want to say necessarily due to personal issues. It's just being in a new environment all over again because it becomes new after you leave because they've already gotten used to you being gone. So it's you are coming back too. So it's like, oh, you're back. So you got to get used to them getting used to you too. And it's a lot of like, okay, let me breathe. We'll figure this out. And then when you get used to it, because it only lasts like a month or 3 weeks, you gotta get used to again to the new routine. Because I came to the realization after this semester started that this is how it's gonna be all the time. Like that's the way it's gonna go. You're gonna get used to the routine you had the past semester, and then you're gonna have to leave the routine. And then you're gonna get used to it, and then you're gonna have to leave. And so it's gonna be a cycle of getting used to it and getting unused to it. So exactly like you said, just becoming adaptable to everything is definitely a trait that we need to have in order to not become so stressed out about every little change in the situations moving forth.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And speaking about transition and, having to adapt again to being back after you leave home and you already adapted to being at home, it's definitely hard to adapt, or at least in my opinion, to how teachers teach again, how different professors teach. And like, for example, this semester, I took it easy because fall was so hard on me. So I'm just taking a few prereqs that I had here and there, a few easy classes towards both of my majors. So I'm taking 2 classes online and 2 classes in person. The classes in person, of course, you sit, you go listen to a lecture, and that's all. But the classes online, it has been extremely hard for me to kind of explore and get to understand how each professor uploads their content, when stuff is due, and all of that. So it has been extremely important for me to stay organized. On top of that, with different clubs and organizations, I just got 2 positions that I was really, really, really looking forward to, that I'm gonna be doing towards the like throughout the semester and during summer. So I'll be here during summer. So it's like I've been trying to manage my time with it all. Especially with most of my classes that are reading based. It's a lot of reading. And the only way to get it all done is to staying organized, being mindful, and if I need some time, just take some time, because it's happened to me where I read a page and then I have no idea what I just read, and I'm wasting my time rather than just taking a break, clearing my head and getting back to it. I feel like that's been extremely important from the start of the semester, to start off clean, to start off nice, to start off positive, because if I start off in a bad way, if I start off with the left foot, then I'm going to be down the whole semester, and I don't want that. I want to use my previous experiences from last semester to learn and to apply those mistakes into this semester, so I am all better and good to go.
Yeah, I definitely see what that actually implies because I hadn't taken an online class until this semester. I underestimated it. And it's probably one of the easier classes because it's a computer fluency class. It's just a prerequisite. But everything is so different. And don't get me wrong, props to the people who are very good at online classes, but every teacher is so different. And then you're not really seeing them in the office hours for online classes are apparently much later in the day. Because of the fact that it is an online class, and I'm just like, I don't understand. But once again, it really all boils down to staying organized because nobody there's no lecture in an online class. So nobody's going to be reminding you every time you go to lecture, like, hey, next time we meet, or next week, there's this thing that you got to turn in. So it's definitely hard, but I feel like the takeaway of everything we've talked about so far is definitely staying organized and being open-minded about changes and being just adapting.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I mean, moving forward the semester, I'm not only going to do it, but I recommend everybody watching to do so as well, to just stay mindful, be mindful, pay attention to yourself and what your body and mind asks of you. Don't rush into anything. If there's something that's putting a lot of pressure on you and you're not required to do it, just, take time for yourself. There's always more time to do it. I mean, whether it is school, work, just something that you want to do for fun. If you want to really, really plan this trip this weekend, but you have a lot of work to do or you have a lot of things to do, the trip can wait. I mean, I know we say life is short, but we also don't want to rush into anything and then, it be bad for our mental health. So I'm going to do it and I invite everybody else to do it with us. Just stay mindful, if you need to take a break, if you've been watching a lecture and doing homework for 5 hours, or even if it's just an hour, and you need a little break, go to the bathroom, take a sip of water, go for a walk, eat a little snack. Don't forget to stay hydrated. Or if you just need to listen to music and listen to a song and get your mind off of it, that's also always very nice. Life can be hard sometimes, but ask for help, guys. Don't forget to ask for help.
I definitely feel you with the asking for help. It's been hard, like a whole journey, especially after being the one that people come to for help. Just overall, it's been really hard to accept that not only do we have to stay mindful of our environment and ourselves and other people and how things change all the time, but also we have to be aware and just simply accept the fact that sometimes we are the ones that need help. And so asking for help, even if you don't want to, can be a very positive thing, because when you get the help, not only does it become easier, but that means you have accepted that sometimes there's much more for you to learn. And yeah, again, inviting you guys again, like Bianca said, to ask for help. Whether it is someone from your family, somebody that's teaching you, a mentor, or maybe even somebody younger than you. They may know more than you think they do.
Also, another piece of advice I just thought of really quick. If you see somebody that needs help and they're not asking for it, or maybe if you just think they, might need a hug or a compliment, like if you walk around, don't forget to also compliment others and help others the way you would want to be helped. In one of the organizations I'm in, it's a big group of us and we have to work closely together. So it's very important for us to identify when somebody's not having a good time and maybe they're just not, ready to ask for help, or they just think they can deal with it on their own. They're trying to process it on their own. Just give them a compliment, bring your friend a coffee, just stay on top of it. If you see that somebody was having an upsetting day, check in on them on the next day, or send them a quick text the following day or that same night, or something to acknowledge them, acknowledge their feelings, and acknowledge that asking for help is okay. Being mindful of their time. And if somebody comes to you for help, even if you don't know what to say or how to help them, or either try to just support them or refer them to somebody that could help. There's a lot of resources out there, whether it's in school, in college, at work, family, mindfulness resources. We offer tons of them. So just make sure you try to help in the best way possible, even if you don't know what the answer is.
And it might even surprise you that sometimes just acknowledging how you feel and telling someone might be already enough help to somebody else. Because sometimes people are not necessarily open to sharing how they're feeling, but letting them know that you're going through something makes them feel accompanied and not alone. So there's many ways that you can help, whether it is from saying, hi, how are you feeling, to, hey, your outfit looks really nice today, or just being like, hey, man, I've not been having a good day. This, that. And so maybe it'll make them feel better. And if it doesn't, it really all boils down to just accompanying them through it.
Yeah, totally agree. But we want to thank you all for staying with us and for just listening and chatting with us. We really, really appreciate it. We hope everybody started off the 2023 year extremely good. And if you didn't, there's always time to make it up. Stay mindful, stay positive, and please don't forget to check out mindfulme.org. That's mindful with 2 L's for more resources, podcasts, meditations, and anything you can find out there. See you next time, guys.
See you next time.